Okay, so I'm going to do a tutorial on how to make a GIF like this one that I posted on the Animating Transit site that I work on with Ryan Seslow. This GIF is made by trace loops, and it's a process of rotoscoping that involves hand drawing over frames. I found trace loops on Tumblr. Here's a lot of different stuff he's made. You can find it at traceloops.tumblr.com, but we're looking at his archive. And he's been doing this for a long time. This dates back to April 2013. Some of these drawings involve this one. We downloaded and looked at it. This is about 20 frames of hand drawing on top of the video, but then he also removes the video and finishes the drawing with the head and redoes it. And so, well, what I like about the style is it's very accessible because you're effectively doing some tracing over some existing drawings. And the way he approaches that is he evolves the amount of lines per frame, in this case getting more and more dense. But in the archive, he does a lot of these examples like up here where he gets less and less dense and the image almost disappears across the frames. So, but we're going to focus on something simple, which is using a single frame, a photo, and drawing on top of it to create this animation. We have this image open in Photoshop, and you can see this is the first frame of the animation, and we're going to call this character 1, character 2, and character 3. And character 1 is built from two different drawings. So in frame 1 and frame 2, you can see the two different drawings used for character 1. So 1 and 3 are actually the same drawing for character 1, and 2 and 4 are the same drawing for character 1. But as you get to that fourth frame, we start to see the first drawing of character 2. And same thing, there's two drawings for character 2. All right, and so 4 and 6, character 2 has the same drawing. 5 and 7 has the same drawing. All right, and then again, as you get to the fourth frame of character 2, we see the first frame of character 3. Sorry, character 3 has two drawings, and two frames are the same, and two frames are the same. But now it's a cycle. So we're going to try to do something like this, and we're going to work with a photo of some sculpture that was presented in a piece in the atrium of York College, and we're going to do some drawing over these sculptures. And so in order to do this, so our image becomes our background, and it's in the layers palette, and you can see that background, and it's going to be available. We're going to need to work with an animation. We're going to create a frame animation. Right now, there's nothing on it. All right, we're going to be working with two things. So there's different layers are going to be on different frames. So I'm going to try to use this tablet that I've hooked up here. We'll see how that goes as we play with this, so I can do some more accurate line drawings. The first thing we have to do is we have to create a new layer, because we don't want to draw directly on the image, because then we won't have anything to animate. All right. So in this first layer, we're going to rename this the birdhouse, and we're going to call it the white layer, because we're going to have two different black backgrounds. If we go back, you can see the whites are approximately the same, right? And it's the black lines that are changing. So we're going to stick to that model. And we're going to work with a brush. We're going to toggle to the white, and we're going to see how this pen works. Where are we? Oh gosh, there we are. Oh yeah, there we go. That's going to work. Command Z. We need a thicker brush. Control. I'm going to have to switch between the two. Wider. Nope, a little wider than that. This is a big image. Oh boy. It's getting interesting, folks. 400's too big. Let's say about 195. That's good. So there we go. Look at that. Lovely. Cover those birds. Oh boy. There we go. Getting there. Oh boy, I think I'm gonna have to switch back to the mouse here, to the trackpad. I'm losing it. Okay. All right, we're going back to the trackpad. Oh boy. All right. So we got a white background. It's not perfect. We'll have to deal with it. We're going to add another new layer, and this is going to be birdhouse black lines 1, because we're going to have 2 sets of black lines. We're going to switch to black. We're going to switch to a much, let's zoom in here. I'm going to switch to control much smaller line. That seems good. Now, it's good to remember this line width of this line. If you want to make sure your lines, the black lines, are consistent with, memorize this pixel. Let's make it exactly 20 so we can remember it. All right, more easily. I also kind of want to turn off the white background so I can see the drawing again. Oh, it looks like I drew on the image originally. We can replace the image later and fix that, but it's going to be, we'll fix that later. That's annoying, but whatever. So I want to see the original lines again so that I can kind of work with the textures that exist in this actual drawing. So in this new layer that's black, I can start to think about playing with these shapes. Let's see if I can get in here. Oh boy. I don't know this pen at all. Oh boy, oh boy. It's not going well. How do you make it not draw while you move? I wish I knew that. I can't do that too well. But it's okay. We'll live with just working with the trackpad. We can make these owl eyes. I think that's what this is, right? Some wings. Some more wings. Some owl eyes. Slow part of the tutorial, right? Where you actually have to do the work. Another outline. I think part of the success of this is pulling off your outlines here. And remember, you can always erase stuff if you want to. Oh boy, like that. Let's get rid of that. Oh gosh. All right, let's see how it looks. Okay, we can see some more work we need to do. Maybe in here, all right? I think I'm going to edit fast forward to some more done portions at some point as I have the 2 drawings. But that looks pretty good, right? That's working it out. Gets a sense of it. All right. Now the hard part is we have to create a second, a new layer, another new layer, so we can have another black version. So we're going to have bird, house, black, lines 2. Now we could have a specific idea in mind, but just by redrawing it by hand, it's obviously going to look different from the other version. So just by starting over, and even if you're trying to do the same thing, it's going to look very different because it's a different set of lines. Trying to work a little faster here. Oh boy, getting crazy. I'm going to have to learn how to use this trackpad. I really want to use it. This is annoying. My fingers are sweaty. They're sticking. I wish I could use the tablet instead, but I don't know how to use it yet. I thought I was like all so good at this tech stuff, and no, just have to figure it out as I go. All right, so we have two drawings, and now we can see what that one looks like. Okay, so we can look at the difference between the two, and whoops, you can get a sense of what the animation might look like. So now we have a frame. So let's save this as the sculpture PSD. All right, okay. Let's open the JPEG again so I can fix that background which I screwed up. Command A, copy, close. Let's paste this. Let's delete that layer. Now we have that. Now we have we have our fixed. There it is. All right. So the way frames work, since this is a general tutorial, I've made others about working with frames and layers. The idea is we have frame 1. Right now it's set to 0 seconds. I'm going to change this to say like 0.15 seconds. All right. And I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to have it with the first black background. So I have 3 layers visible in that frame. When I duplicate this frame by hitting this little icon right here, I'm going to switch which black layers are on. So now between the 2 frames, it's bouncing back and forth between them. All right? And I can just right now loop this and play it. And you can see the idea is already happening. All right? So we've already accomplished the process. And now it's a matter of working with as many of these different pieces of sculpture as I want in the same way. So I could methodically work through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different pieces of sculpture, and I will at the end. This is a huge image, so I'm going to reduce its size before I export it. So I'm going to go to Image. I'm going to follow out through the process just so we can see it as a GIF, even though I'm not done. So the image size is massive, so we're going to make this only like 800 instead. And when I get it, I'm just zooming in. That's actually the full size now because it's at 100%. And we're going to do File, Save for the web. We will wait for the Save for Web palette to open up. There it is. It's going to be a GIF. There's a variety of choices. This is the kinds of dithering choices that exist. For now, I'm going to leave this as is. The color palette is fine. It can be 256. It's at 125. It's a small GIF because the only thing that's changing is the white and black because it's a still image. Where video, every frame, the entire image would change. So there's not a lot of change from frame to frame. So let's just use all colors since it's small already. We're going to save this. We're going to leave this in the trace loops for now, and we'll say Sculpture GIF, and we'll say Save. We'll switch to back to the browser, and we'll open. And you can see it's working. So that's the idea. We have some work to do. Is we want to accomplish this. So this involves that I've done 2 drawings effectively. This involves 6 drawings, but it's on its way, and the rest is a matter of timing across. I'll finish up and post the final version along with the video. Thanks for watching.